the history of this bowl is, and it's as good as any bowl game in the country. First-class service, great people behind the scenes that do so much to make this game possible. So certainly thrilled to be here and have a chance to play a tremendous Florida team. Want to congratulate them on Coach Mullen, his staff, his players on a great season. Like he said, it's certainly been very trying for all of us to have a chance to finish out a season, for us to both play basically a full schedule or pretty darn close to it. To be able to have a chance to play in a bowl game is a great thing in any year, but certainly this year maybe even a little bit more special than most. So I know our team's excited about one more opportunity to go compete. Really excited about the way we finished the season and certainly looking forward to this game as well.
All right, our first question is going to come from Mason Young. Mason, go give you your name, affiliation, unmute yourself, and ask your question.
Mason Young, OU Daily. Coach Riley, just was wondering your thoughts now after having finished out the Big 12 championship game and just how refreshing it's going to be to ride that into the bowl game.
Yeah, no, we're excited about it. I mean, it was a great game yesterday, and a lot of fun. A chance to win a championship. You don't always get those every year, and so it was for our team to be able to close it out, especially coming back from all we've had to persevere through the entire season was a great way to finish off the Big 12 season, and certainly proud to be able to hold that trophy once again and then have the opportunity again to play a great Florida team in what is one of the best bowl games without a doubt that exists. So it's a great way to end the season, and we're certainly excited for the challenge.
All right, our next question is going to come from Eric Bailey.
Hey,
Eric, you can ask your question.
My name's Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World. This is for Lincoln. Hey, Lincoln, we're starting to see some players opt out of bowls. Do you anticipate any players before the Cotton Bowl opting out? And also, can we get your thoughts on Tanner Mordecai, who announced he's entering the transfer portal?
We'll have to see, Eric. This was our off day, just got back, so I hadn't had a chance to see our players yet. So we'll see how that plays out. Too early to say right now for us. Yeah, Tanner, I think he's been a really good member of this football team. I think he's looking for the opportunity to go in and be a starter somewhere. He's done really well. I think he's ready to be a starter. He had some good competition while he was here. He had some unfortunate events that made it tougher for him to compete, like getting injured during our competition this year. But he's a great young man, a great family, a tremendous quarterback, and he'll make somebody very happy.
Our next question is going to come from Cassidy Hill. Please unmute and go ahead with your question.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
This is Cassidy with Gator Bait Magazine. Dan, Nick Saban actually talked last week about that losing in the SEC championship game, one of the toughest losses to bounce back from and get a team motivated for a bowl game. How do you kind of keep this team motivated after such a close loss to get ready and play Oklahoma?
I think the competitive edge of the guys is what has to motivate you, your competitive drive. So we're giving our guys a little bit of time off. We've been going, 8 consecutive weeks of SEC games. I think our guys, there's not just physical toll that's played on their bodies, but the emotional toll of this season as well. So we're going to give our guys some time off, let them get a little bit mentally and physically fresh and try to recoup. And hopefully, our guys, the competitive nature kicks back in to get ready to go play on December 30th.
Coach Mullen, I actually have a question that was submitted written, so I'm just going to read it I'm going to not try to pronounce the name because I will probably mess it up. But the question, The question was, how will you look to defensively bother Oklahoma's potent offense?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to study them or watch them play much this year, but I know they, watching Lincoln in the past, they have explosive players. They spread you out. They have great playmakers all over the field. So I'm sure, it'll be a big challenge for us. Watching, with the guys they have I got to see some of the game yesterday. But just catching parts of it while we're waiting for our kickoff, and look like they got the quarterback can run around, extend plays, scramble, and make things happen with his feet, as well as having a really live arm. And you always know they have great skill players out in the perimeter that can make plays with the ball in their hands, and have always been a very physical team up front. So it'll be a big challenge for our guys to go against not just a great offensive players, but a great offensive scheme.
Our next question will come from John Hoover. John, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, for Dan, John Hoover, Sports Illustrated Sooners. For Dan, what are some of your recollections of the 2008 national championship game against Oklahoma? That's one of the most, I guess, illustrious games. Obviously, the first game that Florida has played Oklahoma, but in this for OU for sure. Just going back to the game, I know it was a crazy time for me because I was the head coach at Mississippi State, and then came back to coach the game and call the game as the coordinator for Florida. So I do know this. I don't know I've ever been more exhausted. Maybe this year is more exhausting with everything we've been through this year. But you know what? I do remember that game being a big time game full of talent. I mean, you had two Heisman Trophy winners playing each other at quarterback. I think guys that are still scattered around the NFL, all over the NFL with great players. And, it was one of those games that I'm sure everybody came in. I think they'd averaged 60 points a game. And, but it came into, at the very end, the ability to play defense, and the Florida defense came up pretty big. I remember the big goal line stand and the turnover on the goal line to stop them. And, Percy Harvin coming off an injury, putting up I think he only could play for about 3 quarters, but put up huge numbers those first 3 quarters. And then Tim Tebow kind of carried the team home in the 4th quarter and hit a little jump pass to win the game. And to kind of put the game away there at the end. So it was pretty special. Got to run. For me, it was a special moment. I got to run down on the field, hold the trophy for about 30 seconds, get a picture with my wife with the trophy, and get on a plane and head to Starkville, Mississippi.
Our next question is going to come from Stephen Hawkins from the Associated Press. Stephen, go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Stephen Hawkins with the AP in Dallas. Kind of for both coaches. Lincoln, first, the advantage of playing in AT&T Stadium where you guys just played. You've played several games before. And Dan, opposite of that, obviously you're coming to a place you've never played, and your guys will be coming here for the first time in this building. So just both coaches address that, please.
Yeah, we love playing there. It's been a great stadium. We've had some pretty good memories over the last several years. So now is that going to make the difference in this game? I doubt it. It's going to be 2 good football teams going at it, and like it should be. So, but we certainly enjoy it, and it's one of the best venues in all the sports, in my opinion. And again, if you got to choose, having some good memories there is a good place to start.
I'll share that, like our guys, we had a Zoom team meeting today with everybody, and that was the first question is hey, we're going to the Cotton Bowl. Question 1 is, where's the game? And I think everybody was pretty excited when they found out where we're going to play, and to be able to go play in that venue. When I've been there to watch the Cowboys play a couple times, watch Dak, it's an awesome stadium. It's a great venue, and I know our guys are really excited to just get the opportunity to go play there.
Our next question is going to come from Kendra Douglas.
Am I good to go?
Yep, go ahead with your question.
Kendra Douglas with West 2. This is for Dan Mullen. So I know that Kyle Pitts is one of the guys that is opting out of the season and not playing in the bowl game. Can you just talk a little bit about how that conversation between you guys went? Just, what did he say to you? When did you know? And of course, we saw that you kind of mentioned this too, that when he was out before the regular season, it's his chance for other guys to step up and to really come together. And can you elaborate again a little bit just on what you're going to be looking for in the rest of your guys come the bowl game?
Yeah, so, Kyle, it was something, we discussed actually when he was injured 2 weeks ago. Was something we discussed about where he was at, his future, and we talked about coming the opportunity to go play in the SEC championship game. And he worked his tail off to get healthy, to get cleared to go play in that game. And he said, Coach, if we have the, I'm not sure what I'll do after that. Depending on where we go and what the situation's going to be, to go make my decision after the game. So I talked to him last night after the game, and you completely respect it. He's a guy that has the opportunity to be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, a phenomenal athlete. Premier tight end, I think, in the country. And, he did. I give him a lot of credit for working his tail off to try to get healthy enough to play last night's game. Had a huge game. We talked that he's just gonna go prepare for that next step. But it's another opportunity. He missed a couple games during the season with an injury, and Keon Zipper and Kamari Gamble stepped up. And to be honest with you, not that they don't want to see one of their teammates not in the game playing, but I know those two guys are excited. They want the opportunity to go become the playmakers, and and to get his touches. So those guys will be excited. And they did a great job while he was out, and I expect those guys to kind of step in and fill that role.
Our next question is going to come from Jason Kersey. Jason, go ahead with your question.
Hey, this question is for Lincoln. Lincoln, have you decided, or I know you just said that this is your off day, but I'm just wondering if you've decided what you're going to do with Shane Beamer's coaching position for the bowl game?
No, I hadn't made that decision yet. We won't have Coach Beamer with us. He's headed out to Columbia this morning, so it was great to have that last great win with him and his family. But no, a lot of capable people here on the staff, but no, haven't fully made that decision yet.
All right. Our next question is going to come from Ryan Abner. Go ahead.
Yeah, this question this is Ryan Aber from the Oklahoman. For both Lincoln and Dan, I guess starting first with Lincoln, we had heard some coaches this morning offer differing views on what to do with their team over the next week or so. Some letting their players go home for Christmas, others keeping them there. Have you decided what to do? And just how different is this year with the schedule and the compressed nature of things and COVID going on?
Yeah, no, it's difficult. I guess maybe the one silver lining is we only have 10 days here, so we don't have a huge block of time to deal with, which actually probably makes it a little bit easier. No, Christmas is tough where it falls on this game, both in proximity to the game, then obviously with COVID. We're obviously just found out we were playing in this game a few hours ago, so we're making plans, but not anything that I'd be ready to announce at this point.
We, for our guys, like I said, this season's been like no other, and the grind, and I don't think everybody understands. Obviously there's a physical grind and the toll it takes on everybody's body to play, even to be able to continue to play the season, and then you add that mental grind on the players. So we're giving our guys off through Christmas right now. We'll do everything virtually. To do some scouting reports and some installation virtually, just to let those guys recover both physically and mentally before the bowl game.
Next question going to come from John Hoover. John, go ahead.
Hey, yeah, me again. Wanted to get you guys' thoughts on the evolution of both conferences. I don't know, maybe more toward the mean, where the Big 12 has been playing better defense in recent years and certainly this year, while the SEC is putting up a lot more productive numbers offensively. Just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on how both conferences are evolving.
I don't know. It looks like Lincoln's still putting up an awful lot of points right there. So I don't know. I did just do a quick glance of all the points they've put up this year. So, I don't think they're having a lot of offensive woes there, and it's become a 3 yards in a cloud of dust deal.
Yeah, from our point of view, we talked about it a little bit last night. I mean, I think the defensive quality in this league has gotten better. I mean, I think the defensive linemen, especially in this league across the board this year, I thought, much improved. There's been some, obviously schematic changes, different coaches, which have certainly helped there as well. So I think in any league, whether you're talking about maybe more offense in the SEC or more defense in the Big 12, whatever, I think it's just the constant evolution and competition. I mean, you do what you got to do to win and to have a chance to win championships. And so I think you're always constantly evolving, looking for those things, and that's some of the fun of it, to see how things do continue to evolve.
We got several questions in the queue, and we're going to try to get them all in before we let you guys go. Our next question is going to come from Joe Buechner. Joe, go ahead with your question.
Joe Bettner, Norman Transcript. This is for Lincoln. Dan, I know you already kind of touched on Spencer Rattler, but Lincoln, I was curious if you could just speak to the season Kyle Trask has had, if you've kept up with it. Obviously, if you haven't, might not be much of an answer, but I'm just curious what you've made of him as a quarterback and how he's been able to lead that offense.
Yeah, I'm certainly not an expert on it. I mean, I've got to catch him a few times on TV, but no, he's been impressive. I mean, he's a really impressive guy. I mean, the guy that can stand back there and beat you in the pocket, and then can run, Q power on 3rd and 1 and run it right down your throat too. So, any guy that can do both is tough to defend. And he's done a really good job using their weapons. They got a tremendous scheme that really features what he does well. But you can see, I having watched him a little bit more last year, you can see obviously the improvement he's made, and that's a testament to him and certainly the coaching staff there.
Our next question is going to come from Mark Long. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Dan. Yeah, just curious, do you expect other guys to opt out, specifically Grimes and Tony, maybe even Trask? And then do you anticipate Todd Grantham being your defensive coordinator for the bowl game? Is that definitive?
Oh, yeah. Todd will be our D coordinator for the bowl game. Kyle's Pitts is the only one I've talked to. I've talked to other guys that are, just viewing what their options are for the future, and as they're getting with their family to go make a decision. Obviously, I don't think we got back to about 4:00 in the morning last night. So I think everybody's just trying to catch their breath here for 24 hours. So I don't have any other reports of who will or will not play the bowl game for us. But, we'll see as this goes on, and as we get as the week goes on, as these guys make decisions about their future.
Our next question is going to come from Nick Delatorre. Nick, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, weird year. You've talked about the mental and physical toll. Just from a mental standpoint, is it almost better to not have a full month before a bowl game like you typically would, and it's kind of a quicker turnaround?
I don't know. Well, guess we'll find out on December 30th. It is, like I said, there were, we did have, we had a team meeting this morning on Zoom. I met with the coaching staff about playing in the bowl game, and then I met with the leadership committee and then the team, and I wanted to hear their concerns or thoughts, whether they wanted to play, and everybody was excited and wanted the opportunity to go play one more time. I think a couple guys, once we kind of laid out what the schedule would be with the different options of bowls that we would go to, they felt that, hey, even though, the 10-day window is really tight for some of the recovery for some of our guys, but for where we're at right now, but they were excited for this opportunity to go play in this bowl game.
We're going to do 2 more questions. First one's going to come from Barry Tramel. Barry, go ahead.
Yeah, for both you guys, Barry Tramel from the Oklahoman. Neither program achieved its ultimate goal. Lincoln, you're usually in the playoff. You didn't make it this year. Dan, you guys were in the SEC title game. You obviously wanted to win, could have won, almost won. How tough is it to get back and play in what some people would see as a consolation prize? And can you get the guys to where, hey, this is a big game, everybody excited?
Well, I think this. I think, I mean, you're going to line up in the Cotton Bowl playing Oklahoma. I mean, if I'm out to go look out my window, and go down the street and see kids playing in the yard, and that's what they're dreaming of doing, So, I mean, these guys, it doesn't take a whole lot of motivation to want to go play in that game with the guys. These guys are competitors. So I think that opportunity to play in this game against that team, and you look across at the opponent that you have, that's the motivation you need to go play.
I agree with what he said. I don't know what I would have said it any different. That's the Cotton Bowl, OU, Florida. That's pretty darn good.
Coaches, our final question is going to come from Cassidy Hill. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, actually questions for both of you, but separate ones. Let me start. Dan, as you said that Kyle's the only one you really talked to about opting out so far. Can you kind of point to last year with Hendo being the only one to opt out and he ended up being a top 10 pick as saying it needs to be worth it. You need to know where you're going to go. And then also Lincoln, you kind of talked about Kyle Trask, but have you been able to look at any of the other offensive weapons that they have? What is it going to take to defend the entire field there?
Well, I'll start with this, Cass. We talked to the people, and if you look in the past, a guy that is, Kyle Pitts, that's already going to be a top 10 pick is one thing. But you go back 2 years ago, with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's playing today on Sunday, was the MVP of the Peach Bowl, probably skyrocketed his draft status, and he got to finish his, you get to finish your career as a Florida Gator. Peach Bowl champion, MVP of the game, and help yourself out in the future. So I think a lot of these guys they'll make educated decisions more than emotional decisions. It's educated decisions about their future.
Yeah, on my question, I've had a chance to see again just bits and pieces of their offense this year, but no, they do a tremendous job. I mean, I know Pitts is a really good player, but I mean they've got a lot of great players there. Obviously, the receivers really jump off the page, the speed, the length that those guys have, and Trask and certainly the coaching staff have done a great job getting all those guys involved. So no, it'll take a lot. It'll take team defense and against a group that has more than one guy that can beat you.